She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you the news from yesterday as the Washington football team releases Dwayne Haskins. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Dwayne Haskins is an NFL quarterback who is currently a free agent after getting released by Washington. Played his college football at Ohio State and also was drafted in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Washington football team, then Washington Redskins. Now, Dwayne Haskins, he has had an interesting career in my opinion. Honestly, I think Ron Rivera was the bad coach for Dwayne Haskins. Honestly, he even brought Kyle Allen from Carolina with him. It was clear that Dwayne wasn't going to be the guy. But I think that Dwayne will have success outside of Washington rather than inside Washington. Maybe he comes back and gets a revenge game. I don't know. But as far as I can see, he needs to develop before becoming a starter. Now, in college football, Dwayne Haskins was a very good football player and has won many awards, including the Chicago Tribune Silver Football, the Graham George Offensive Player of the Year Award, the Grease Breeze Quarterback of the Year Award, the Sammy Baugh Trophy, the Kellen Moore Trophy. He's a 2018 Big Ten Conference Champion and MVP of the Conference Championship game. Then he's also an Rose Bowl champion and MVP. Now, he's also a first-team All-Big Ten in 2018. Now, when it came to Dwayne Haskins, in his first year, he was a redshirt freshman. His second year, he backed up J.D. Barrett and played 8 games, throwing for 57 passes, 40 of them being completed, 565 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, honestly, for a guy who's a backup, I see that's honestly very good. That's very good for a backup. But then he got his start in his only year as the full starter in Ohio State, where he played all 14 games as a starter, went 13-1, and he threw 533 passes, 373 passes completed, 4,831 yards passing, 50 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Now, that's an outstanding stats. In my opinion, those are stats that an NFL elite quarterback should at least be getting to. Those kinds of levels of stats, whether it's yards or touchdowns, and specifically touchdowns. But Dwayne Haskins was a very good football player in his third and final year in college, as after 2018 he declared himself eligible for the 2019 NFL Draft. Now, he was drafted in the 2019 NFL Draft 15th overall, ahead of a quarterback that was supposed to go in the second or possibly third round, Daniel Jones going ahead of him, picked by the New York Giants. He was picked by his hometown team, the Washington football team, known as the Washington Redskins at the time. And to be honest, that was supposed to be the great savior of the Washington football team at the time. Honestly, it looked that way, and it looked like the Giants actually got a bust instead of a steal. It's actually the other way around now, because the Washington football team has just released their quarterback, while the Giants aren't succeeding with Daniel Jones, but they're at least doing better than Dwayne Haskins did with the Washington football team. His first year as the Washington quarterback, he played in 9 games, 7 of them being starts, 2 of them just coming in for Case Keenum. He had 203 attempted passes, 119 of them being completed, 1,365 yards, 7 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Honestly, not that good, but could improve the next year. Especially he had to improve after week 16, where he actually suffered an ankle injury against the New York Giants. What a coincidence. But I'm just going to say this. He should have done better the next year in 2020. In 2020, he only got 7 games, 6 starts. He threw 241 passes, 148 being completed, 1,439 yards, 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He downgraded in his sophomore year. And when it comes to the Washington football team, honestly, I saw that Dwayne Haskins wasn't going to be good as soon as they fired Jay Gruden. Of course, Jay Gruden wasn't a good coach at all. But as soon as I saw them hire Ron Rivera, I was worried for Dwayne Haskins, as then I saw them bringing in Kyle Allen and how much success he had in Carolina. Well, it kind of screwed Haskins up, because even though Haskins was named the starter week 1 and they even won the game, honestly, he lost his job to Kyle Allen and wasn't even put as the backup. He was put at the 3rd string position behind Alex Smith, who had just came back from a leg fracture that nearly took his life. Now, honestly, there was no hope for Dwayne Haskins in Washington with Ron Rivera, because honestly, Ron Rivera's scheme, I don't think it fits Haskins. Haskins needs to go to a place where he can learn from a veteran quarterback and then go in and try and be the starter for that franchise. Now, I'm going to tell you several teams that could be interested in Dwayne Haskins, and the one team that I would see Dwayne Haskins having the most success with. Now, when it comes to the AFC, I think teams like the Patriots and Jets would be likely options, especially New England, as the Cam Newton era isn't going to last that long. In the AFC North, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, yes, they have Ben Roethlisberger, but they could bring in Dwayne Haskins to learn from Roethlisberger, and then after Roethlisberger either retires or if he ends up getting cut or something, I don't know, I doubt he'd be cut, but if any of that sort of things happen, he could then become the starter after Big Ben. But then you get to the NFC, which I would think the NFC North would be kind of a hot spot for him to get a job, because honestly, there's some quarterback situations that might be going in another direction. Chicago, Mitch Trubisky, I don't think he's the guy. Detroit, Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback, but they're going to bring in a new regime and they're going to bring in a new quarterback most likely, because I don't think Matt Stafford wants to go for another rebuild. And then you get the AFC South, where you got the Panthers and you got the Falcons. And those are the teams that I think that honestly he could sign to. But the one that I think would be most likely, in my opinion, is Pittsburgh. Mostly so he can learn behind Ben Roethlisberger. Because out of all these situations, only Pittsburgh does they have a quarterback that could actually teach Dwayne Haskins to be a reliable NFL quarterback, and something that the Steelers could morph into another legend. They got Bradshaw, they got Roethlisberger, and what if you get Haskins in there? Maybe Haskins could be the next great Steeler quarterback. But it has to be, first of all, he had things happen to him this season when he was at the Washington football team, because he was like at clubs and all that when that was breaking the rules. So after that situation, after breaking it twice, I think teams will most likely look at those kinds of things and say, okay, this guy's not a guy we want to bring in. That's the same thing that happened to Johnny Manziel. Manziel couldn't stop partying, and look what happened. He's no longer in the league, and he's not even playing football as far as I can see. Hopefully he gets another shot. He's been doing well, but honestly, I hope he gets another shot at being a quarterback for not an NFL team, maybe the XFL that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's going to be there. But back to Dwayne Haskins. Now, Haskins' role in the Steelers, I think, could be perfect. You mentor him with Ben, and then he becomes a starter. Simple as that. But it's not that simple either, because this guy has to be dedicated, and you have to find out if Haskins is literally ready to being Big Ben's backup and learning from him, for then in the future he gets the starting role. Because Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, not quarterbacks I'm seeing that are gonna replace Ben Roethlisberger. But as far as I can see, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the top contenders for Dwayne Haskins, in my opinion. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me What team do you think that Dwayne Haskins should go to? And what team would you like him to go to? And which is the best situation for him? Please tell me down in the comments below your opinions. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.